Hello, everybody. Welcome to 1111 Butterfly Effect. Thank you all for joining my Divine Spirit, the Oracles, and I here at the table. As you see, there's so much to talk about, to cover, to share with you right now. And I'm going to do pretty much one at a time. I may combine a couple things. I have a declaration to announce, to enunciate that there was some missing details in my last post, the very last post, about a storm warning. So I'm going to cover that declaration and show you what was missed that was brought to my attention through a channeled message from Divine. Also, we got something going on over here, very exciting to talk about. We're going to cover that as well. And then, of course, separately on a separate post, we are going to, very excited and happy to do a deck reveal for this hot new deck, Souls on Fire. So stay tuned for that. But right now, in this moment, we're going to discuss and cover through my Divine Spirit's guidance and the notes I took from the initial channeled message that came through via my post-production editing. I do a post-production viewing of most of the recordings I put out there. Just to see if there's anything I need to change in the set or in the lighting, etc., the volume. Also to see if there's any messages that were missed that I might have not picked up on and would pick up on a second viewing for me. And I always suggest that. Definitely, just like on television. How many times have I seen a movie and there's always something new I see in the movie? So it's kind of like that. I definitely recommend to all your favorite to do this with all your favorite readers and channelers out there, is to watch the messages a couple times at least, because there may be something in there that you missed in our messages, in our channel messages. Of course, there's things that come through so quickly, it's easy to miss something. And those of you who channel and read can relate to what I'm talking about. So I want to cover that. I want to enunciate and clarify what was missed and pointed out to me through a divine channeled message that came to me during a post-production moment of my storm warning post. And that's the very last post that was posted on my channel. And if you watch that post, that message, and then come back to this, you'll see what was missed. That was pretty critical. And, I've been trying to record this a couple different times. And at the very end of this recording, I'm going to include with it a couple little outtakes of what was recorded previous in the last couple days to try and get these posts done and out to you all. But all in divine timing. And I surrender to divine timing. I try not to panic over what I can't control. So, moving forward to this current declaration of missing details from my very last post. And I want to cover that. And then we'll get to, on another post, this awesome deck reveal. So stay tuned for that. It's going to happen today. And to this, focusing on this and the update of missing details. Lately, some of the readers and channelers that I follow have been talking about the eagle and flying high and a higher perspective, a new perspective of viewing things, of viewing your journey, a different view, a shift, a change. And that's awesome. It's a very important part of this journey and helps you level up when you change gears, when you look at things at a higher perspective, when you see the world through the eyes of your higher self, which is the eagle flying, right? But sometimes when we do that, or if we stay up there all the time, we miss some details. And I miss some details. And I want to clarify that for you guys out there because they are important details. And because of that, the real message, the real true message is, to look carefully so we don't miss the details, to zoom in when we need to, okay? Because as on this yellow brick road path, sometimes there's a rock in the pathway or there's a bump in the road, and if we don't see it, we're gonna trip, right? Trip and fall. So that's kind of relates to what was missing. And what was missing, if you recall, the cards that were pulled were distant thunder, watching clouds, and answering the call. And in my post-production editing viewing, I noticed that in this watching the clouds, there is a boat. See that? A boat. And if you look at the way... All right, focus. There we go. If you look at the way the sails are pointing, you can tell that the boat is coming to shore. Right? Well, of course, it depends on the wind. Yes. But in this view, in my perception, and what I feel, that this is the boat coming into shore. And who's on this boat? The divine feminine. Or excuse me, the divine masculine. So the message that came to me was that in the reading itself, I said that, I hope this comes out clear, that these might be the same people. And potentially, yes, for some of you, this storyline, this message coming in is about you only. But the second channeled message that came through was that this is the divine masculine stuck, weathering the storm, going through a storm, going through a transformation, going through their purification, going through their tower moments. And that's in the past up to the present moment. And now that the air is being cleared and the storm is going away, the divine masculine, after a rest, themselves are getting on the boat. And it kind of goes along the lines of my automatic drawing storyline. Okay? And the very last automatic drawing that came in was the divine masculines, those who have gone through the transformation and the purification and who are leveling up and going through following their divine path, surrendering to the divine plan, are getting on their boat, taking that last journey across the rough waters, the emotions, the tower moments, that last portion of transformation before they get to the point of this leveling up, before this meeting of the minds with the divine feminine. So, very critical, something that I missed was that potentially for some of you out there, this is the divine masculine who is now getting themselves unstuck and moving forward on the boat, heading to shore. And what's at shore? Divine feminine. And yes, the divine masculine has made it to shore and coming home to meet up with the divine feminine. And that was the second thing that was missed, was the stag here in this card. That the divine masculine has weathered the storm and is now unstuck coming to shore in that boat after they've gone through their transformation and purification, transformed into their higher form, into their higher self, into their magnificent self, coming home to the divine feminine. The divine feminine is at the gate, at the gateway, with the door open, ready. See? That's a very important message that was missed. And as was channeled in the automatic drawing, was that yes, those divine masculines that are weathering this last little part of the healing journey before they level up at this point and meet up with the divine feminine, and some going having sacred union, right? For this to get to this point, you must weather the storm. You must go through the tower moments. You must heal the childhood wounds, you and or your partner. So that is what was missed. And I wrote a couple notes. Let's see if I, cover everything that was channeled to me via my post-production viewing of my very last post, Storm Warning. This is a declaration that there was some missing details that were very important to reveal. And Divine came back to me and said, look what you missed. Sometimes we have to zoom in and look carefully at the details so we don't miss a step. So we don't miss a clue, a sign that is going to point us in the direction that we need to continue to go in. Missing details. Look carefully. Yeah. So I'm just reading my notes here, just make sure I've covered everything I wanted to share with you about the channeled declaration of missing details. And it's important, so that's why I'm doing this little quick post to cover the things that I missed, that Divine pointed out to me that needed to be pointed out to all of you. And this confirms communication is coming in, that the divine masculine is healing, going through their last bit of transformation and purification, making their decisions, move forward in their journey towards their heart's desire, their divine plan. And that divine plan includes you, divine feminine. Yeah. So, the energy that came through, the message about the energy that came through was all about movement. Okay, almost like anxiety and pacing. Okay, it's look kind of would create some anxiety there, a storm. Yeah, almost like pacing. Then a big boom happens. Okay, maybe a thunderbolt of lightning or a tower moment or epiphany. A big fight, karmic fight, whatever. Something big happens, and then there's a pause and a rest. For some, like being in the cocoon. For others, just a pause and a rest because the storm was big and exhausting. Yes. And because of this transformation and rest, it's going to result in a quick, sudden movement forward, transformed. And that's pretty sudden. Go from this stuck person here to the one in the boat to this stag. That's pretty quick transformation right there in 1 3 card pull. And that's why it needed to be pointed out what was missed. And so we don't miss anything. It's important to zoom in and look carefully at the details. And then go back up to the high, soaring high. Go back up to the higher perspective. Like, I just heard somebody say going from the 3D to the 5D and living, in that in-between realm, or that you can easily go from 3D to 5D and not be stuck in either. Right? Gaining new perspective. And that is going to bring in your exploding gifts and abundance. Okay? If not, you're going to circle back up here and learn your lesson. So, let's try and get it right the first time out the door, if we can, right? If we can't, then, we get back out of the water, back on land, climb around the mountain again, and get back in the boat, right? However, whatever it takes, however it's necessary to move forward. So, at any rate, I hope some of you watch this so that you don't miss the details that I missed and am now clarifying for you. And, lesson learned for me as well, obviously, right? Because Divine Spirit came to me in a channeled message during my post-production and said, hey, look at the details you missed. So, I guess the message is, hey, look. Don't miss any details. Look carefully. Zoom in if you have to. And then go forward. That's your sign. Here's your sign if you are looking for a sign. So I hope you like what you see in here. If you do, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Definitely, there's lots of content that's already on the table, recorded and posted, and there's much more to look forward to, including this awesome deck reveal coming up. So stay tuned for that. Until then and next time, take care, stay safe out there, and stay aware. Bye-bye. Masculine, the stag, transforming from this person up here stuck into the traveling, now coming home, I'm arriving stag. Boy, I know that kind of came out weird, but gosh darn it, that was really something that I really needed to share. Okay, that I've been hearing that other readers talk about the eagles and a higher perspective and a new, different outlook on things, or perspective, gaining perspective. This is related to that. Missing details. When we go high, sometimes we miss the details. So it's important to focus. Zoom in. So focusing and zooming in are probably key points of this post-production editing channeled message that I'm talking about right here in the moment. Yeah. Missing details means we need to look more carefully, right? Yeah. Let me see if I wrote some notes down just to see if I've covered everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah, it's interesting. So if you missed that reading that